You can be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone, not because no one is there, but because no one really sees you. And the strange part is, you can smile, talk, even laugh with everyone else, and still feel that quiet distance inside. Like you're there, but not really there. Like you're part of the moment, but somehow outside of it at the same time. Most people think loneliness is about being alone, but this kind of loneliness is different. It doesn't come from silence. It comes from being surrounded and still feeling unseen. And if you've ever felt this, there's a reason, because what you're experiencing is not a lack of people, it's a lack of connection, real connection, the kind where you don't have to think about what you're saying, the kind where you don't have to filter yourself, the kind where you don't feel like you're being watched or evaluated. But somewhere along the way, that became harder. You started to notice things, how people react, how conversations shift, how certain parts of you feel more accepted than others. And without realizing it, you adjusted. A little at first, then more. You said what felt safer. You held back what felt too real. You became more careful, more aware, and over time, you learned how to be around people without fully being yourself. And that works. On the surface, you fit in. You get along. You avoid conflict, but underneath, something starts to fade because connection doesn't come from being accepted. It comes from being seen. And if you're not fully showing yourself, no one can fully see you. So even when people are around, it feels like something is missing, like there's a gap, a space between you and everyone else that never quite closes. And the more aware you become, the more you notice it. You notice when conversations feel shallow, when responses feel automatic, when people are present, but not really present. And instead of feeling closer, you feel further away, because you're not just listening to words, you're noticing everything behind them. And that creates distance, not because you want it, but because your mind is always one step deeper. And here's where it gets even more complicated. The more you feel this, the harder it becomes to explain it. Because from the outside, everything looks fine. You have people around you, you talk, you interact. So when you feel lonely, it doesn't make sense. Even to you, you start questioning it. Why do I feel like this? There's nothing wrong. I shouldn't feel this way. But that only makes it worse, because now you're not just feeling alone. You're feeling alone in a way you can't explain. And that silence, that internal confusion, makes the distance even deeper. But here's something most people don't realize. This isn't happening because you're broken. It's happening because you're aware. You notice more. You feel more. You pick up on things that others overlook. And that changes how you experience people. You're not just interacting. You're observing, not just listening, interpreting. And that creates a gap between what's happening and how it feels to you. But that doesn't mean connection is impossible. It just means it works differently for you, because you don't need more people. You need fewer, but real. You don't need constant interaction. You need moments where you don't have to think, where you don't have to adjust, where you can just be, without analyzing everything. And those moments do exist, but they require something that feels uncomfortable, letting yourself be seen. Not the safe version, not the adjusted version, the real one, the one you've been holding back. And yes, that comes with risk. Because not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will respond the way you want. But the alternative is staying in that quiet distance forever, being surrounded, but never connected. And that's the real cost. So if you've ever felt alone around others, if you've ever sat in a room full of people and felt like you didn't belong, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you haven't found the right kind of connection yet. The kind that doesn't require effort. The kind that doesn't make you question yourself. The kind where you don't feel like you're watching the moment, but finally living it. And once you experience that, even once, you realize something important. You were never meant to connect with everyone. You were meant to connect with the right ones. And maybe that's why you've felt this way for so long. Not because you don't belong, but because you've been in the wrong places. And once that changes, that quiet loneliness doesn't disappear instantly, but it softens. Because now, you're not just around people, you're finally with them. And for the first time, you don't feel outside the moment. You feel inside it, fully there, fully seen, and finally, not alone.